So, you
Okay,
want to call to order?
I will call the meeting to order. And can we take a roll call?
Yeah. So Cameo Flood,
Here,
Susan Mace, absent. Marilyn Ryan, absent. Chad Grink, absent. Chelsea,
here,
John Newman,
Here.
Rebecca Dawson,
Here.
Travis Hoffman,
Here.
Sarah Dogshop, absent. Kirk Reed, absent. Scot Anderson,
Here.
and Tim Gerham, absent. Commissioner Slotnick.
Here.
All right. I'll hand it over to you, Cameo.
okay, well, thanks for everybody getting on. This meeting is a special meeting to talk about the subcommittee that was proposing getting recordings and things. So I don't know, Rebecca, do you want to talk about a little bit of what your proposal is and what we need to decide?
Yes, so the point of the subcommittee was to kind of revisit the get out the vote videos that were being produced or attempting to be produced. And we came up with the idea that the most compelling reason to vote is the real reason, and that the most compelling people to give you those reasons are real people, not scripted actors. So what the subcommittee came up with is if we can create a QR code and invite the public to share their reasons for voting or not voting in quick, 45-second to 1-minute video that they submit. Minimal editing on the county side as far as just making sure there's nothing inflammatory, derogatory in the comment, and then sharing those out in, digestible clips to the public on both the county's website and the elections website and social media pages, may be a great way to get out the vote and to help motivate people and inspire people to vote. And also that feedback we're going to get from people about why they don't vote is it's information that we can use to then, as a secondary project, produce short public service announcements to help people overcome those barriers.
Okay, and then I'm not exactly sure what the committee needs to recommend or a motion that we need to make to approve this, or if there's a budget associated with it that you're asking for.
So I think Commissioner Slotnick can speak to the money side. I believe what we had looked at is we were going to look for donated time and expertise on the minimal editing, and then the county has the ability to create the QR code and capture the information. But I think he would be better able to explain that.
Thanks. So formally, this subcommittee would need to forward, first you'd have to decide if you like this, if you want to amend it, change it, whatever, get it to a point where you feel good about it, and then forward it on to the full committee and ask the full committee to take a vote. And the vote would be, we would like to ask the county commissioners if we can do this on behalf of them.
And I think that our subcommittee, that's the point of this special committee, was the subcommittee liked this. So then we're presenting it to the committee today to vote on whether or not we're going to ask the commissioners.
Perfect.
Full board. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
Totally. That's what I was going to say, Rebecca, is like, I think that's where we're at.
Yeah, and I think the best way to do this would be to recommend to the commissioners that in cooperation with the county comms team, that we all do this, and then we'll let comms team figure out what they want to do and what this group could do, and they'll have a lot of say because we'll be speaking for it.
Yep. So essentially, it would be proposing a motion to recommend that
do this proposal?
The elections administrator and the boards of county commissioners proceed forward with this proposal with the use of staff hours and the communications.
Yeah, and my guess is the Board of County Commissioners will say, this sounds really cool. Let's bring it to comms and see what they say. And then comms will say, we like this, we don't like that. This is how we want to do it. It'll become theirs really more than ours, but I believe we'll still have a hand in it.
Yeah, and I think especially just to kind of speak on behalf of our communications team that runs so many different things, like working collaboratively to not fully give them a new project to take on, but to really have that support, guidance from the EAC. And I can see them looking for things like criteria of what we might screen for. Because having that information as a county government could be helpful.
Yeah.
Or somebody's like, you wouldn't post my stuff and it's because I vote this way.
Yeah, we will just have to see what they say. But they would say smart, they'll say smart things.
Sure.
Travis has
Okay.
a question.
Yes.
Is it anticipated there would be a cost for this?
I don't think so.
Time?
Staff time would be it, but I feel like it could be modest enough that it won't be a big deal.
So it doesn't need to be part of it.
Also, I don't fully know what comms has on their plate, and they may say, oh my gosh, there's no way we could take this on. We don't want to trust this to volunteers entirely. We could do this, but in 8 months, or I really have no idea what they'll say.
Okay, Travis?
Yeah, so I just see it here via QR code. I would just advise that if we're putting the invitation out there to submit videos, that we do so in various different forms, so it's accessible primarily to people who are blind and can't see the QR code.
Okay, good. So I'm going to suggest that somebody make a motion and then we'll have a discussion about it before voting on the motion, just in case there's amendments. So I don't know, Rebecca, would you like to make a motion?
Yeah, I can do that. So I move that we vote to move forward with this project, and that we turn it over to the comms team at the county to see what they are able to help us do, and what their capacity is. And I think also, to Travis's point, we can ask them for advice on how we present that to people who may have different abilities. Is that the right way to do it?
It sounds good. Travis, did you still have a question?
I don't know. I
Okay,
thought my hand went down.
that's okay. Can I get a second on that motion? Okay, I'll second the motion.
I'll second that.
Okay,
Nope.
that'd be good. And then now I'll open the floor for discussion if there's any further discussion on the motion. Qualifications, modifications, anything like that.
So I think, Travis, would it be, do you have suggestions on other ways to get this out to people with differing abilities besides the QR code?
Well, I just wouldn't specify how it's disseminated, just that it is disseminated, because the county has an obligation to put stuff out in accessible format. A QR could be one of those methods. A plain link could be another method. Things like that. And I don't know why my hand keeps automatically raising, but it does. I haven't touched the darn button.
It's supposed to go down when you start talking.
As far as screening criteria, I think we can kind of build that list, but the broader ones that we came up with just in the subcommittee were nothing partisan, nothing, we don't want to hear I vote because I like so-and-so, or I vote because I don't like so-and-so. And, nothing inflammatory toward any one group, but just genuinely why people vote. And then the other criteria, if we're getting a bunch of people, I don't vote because X, that can just be kind of stuffed in a file for us to examine later. Like I said, as part of that secondary project. But I think the editing idea was we really wanted to keep it as minimal as possible. Like I said, nothing inflammatory, nothing derogatory. Keep it to a minute or less, just so that we can capture really what our neighbors are saying about their voting practices.
And I do have one more question. So who would be, and maybe this is something to figure out down the road, but who would be monitoring the videos as they come in, and who would they be sending them to for editing? And then who makes the ultimate choice on what gets posted and what doesn't?
All that would go through our comms team.
So I think
Okay.
if we presented them with a list of what we think would be considered inflammatory or, guidelines toward that, I think most people have kind of the same idea of if this is going to touch a nerve, we can usually people can tell if something's going to touch a nerve or not. But we can come up with just some kind of general things, what touches our nerves. And if you guys see this come in, then maybe we shouldn't do that.
I think from our side, that's a great area to hit. And it's just really nice as a government entity, if we're like screening something like that, to say that these are the things we're looking for and why we might screen it out. We'll take care of this with comms. They do public comment and produce a lot of information. This is their wheelhouse for sure.
Would they know how to incentivize people to participate? I'm wondering, we put this out there. If people respond or if people don't respond.
It'll be a discussion for sure.
Yeah.
Free I voted sticker.
There you go.
I think, we live in a digital world where everybody loves to see themselves on the screen. So just reminding them like, hey, everybody could see you like that. That's not going to motivate some people. That's going to deter some people. And I understand that, which is to Travis's point, if we want to expand this to the option of someone to email in their reason, if we want to have, a print format for those people. But I think if we reach toward everyone's vanity of wanting their face on the screen, that could be the motivation, a big motivator for a lot of people.
Okay, is there any more discussion? All right, I think we're ready to vote, so I'll call for a vote on the motion. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Okay, the motion passes unanimously.
From here, I'll work with Commissioner Slotnick to make sure that we get this presented. Sarah's really great about getting stuff on the agenda, and my take is there's no need to wait.
Sure.
And so we'll kind of pull this up. I know that we're going to have a couple of our staff out for a national convention on elections, but probably that next week. As soon as we get it figured out, scheduled, we'll share that information with everybody on the EAC, make sure that specifically subcommittee members are aware, really can be there to help support this information. They're online, in person. For those of you who kind of came through when we talked about changing the makeup, same exact thing, really wanting people to be there to talk about why it was important from this committee. I do a pretty good job of summarizing, but nothing is better than Rebecca being like, this is why I want this.
Awesome.
Okay, Sarah, I didn't look at the agenda. So is there anything more on the agenda?
The last item was comments from committee members, which I feel like we just discussed that, so.
Yep. Okay. I guess we're ready to adjourn then, if somebody wants to make a motion to adjourn.
I'll move to adjourn.
I second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed,
Aye.
nay. All right, thanks you guys, that was good and fast.
Thank you.
which I
Thank you.
like. All right, bye.
Bye.
Okay.
Thanks,
Bye.
everybody. Take care.
Pass this on to three of us and just